your parents, your biological parents. I know your grandmother raised you.
My mom was around. She was there. She had to do what she needed to do to be able to provide for herself, to provide for my brother. And at the time, I'm not sure what came about in an agreement. I think at the time my grandma felt the best fit for me was with her.
How would you best explain what your grandma has meant to you?
Everything. That's like that's my rock. My rock. That's my foundation. You know, everything is built on a foundation, and that would be the foundation. You know.
How would you explain the role that she played in your life?
That was my mom, my dad, like everything intertwined in one. Everything I learned, like that's all I had. That's it. My grandma, you know, my mom was there also. I'm talking about hands-on every day, 24/7, driving me to school when I'm in trouble, coming to the school, talking to the teachers, parent-teacher conference, dropping me to tennis, dropping me to soccer, dropping me to football practice. You know how tiring that is over the years? And she did all that and didn't give up even when she wanted to. And I'm thankful for everything she's ever done. She gave up me so long ago, man. So long ago, but she didn't. I'm really thankful for that. You know, now times are kind of tough for her, you know, now that she's up in age. And, you know, health issues, early stages of dementia, so things aren't the way I like them. It's life.
How tough is that on you to watch her going through that?
It's tough. It's tough. But I understood that was coming at some point. You know, she lost both of her sisters to the same thing already. And she's the last one left. But she's funny. It's so funny. It's hilarious. It's funny, but it's not funny. Because sometimes you got to think, you raised me all your life, all my life, basically. And to come home sometimes to her not know who I am, that's funny. Like, who are you? Mommy is me. And she had no clue. And like 5 minutes later, Chad, what you doing here? You so ugly today. What happened? And that's what's funny, because she'll come out of nowhere with humor, and then in one instant doesn't even know who I am walking in the door.
So sometimes she's present and other times
she's not, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here's this lady who took care of you for so long, and now you're in a way
It's funny.
taking care of her.
It's funny, but it's not funny.
What did you think of your mom growing up, and how, if at all, does the view differ today?
I love her. It's Mom, you know? She gave me life. She gave me life. You know, other than that, I don't really think too much into it. I don't worry about the past or what happened in the past. You know, that would always be my mom no matter what.
Your dad was in jail for a time for selling drugs.
23, 24 years, something like that.
What do you remember from the first time you met him?
It was cool, but even though my dad wasn't around, I wasn't the type like, oh, you weren't here. You know, I don't want anything to do with you. I was different, man. I wanted to know who he was, you know? I already knew what happened. I already read up on what happened, so I'm not coming at you to talk about why you left and, nah. I want to know who my father was, and we created a relationship once he got out. Came up to a couple of games, enjoyed our time together here. Oh, we smoked cigars together, you know? And that's it, he passed away maybe 2-3 years ago from pancreatic cancer.
The first time you apparently felt the connection with him was actually at his funeral. What was it about that made you suddenly feel close to him?
I felt I was close to him before that, honestly. I mean, I hate the fact that our relationship was short, for one, but I tried to make the most of it throughout the time that I did have once I got to understand and know who he was. And that was the best I could do. Like, I was never one of those that really thought, like, what's done is done, so I never thought about the past like my grandma did, or like other people do. I don't. Like, I'm living in the now, right now, and what can we do going forward to improve on what we missed on, and that was it.
How clear were you growing up that you needed to make it in football?
Well, I need to make it at something. You know, there are only two ways. There's left and right, where I'm from. There's left and right, and sometimes you have those in the middle, you know. There weren't very many academic scholars coming out of Liberty City.
And what's left and what's right?
You had the street life to the right, and you had sports to the left. And you have those in the middle that would maintain that regular lifestyle.
I was talking to one of your close friends, Trent, the other day, 2 years older than you, was in prison for dealing cocaine. He told me that, you know, back in the day when you guys were growing up, you actually wanted to go out on the block with him and sell drugs, but he said basically no, you know, go home, because he didn't feel like that life was for you. How true is that?
Completely. My grandma would probably kill me, you know, but I wanted to be in. When you're young, you know, you don't think for yourself, but whatever is hot, whatever is going on, whatever's going good and everyone else is doing, that's what you want to do. So where I come from, that's what everybody's doing. Man, they 16, 17, fly clothes, fly shoes, nice cars, 16, 17. Mercedes, you know, it was crazy, the jewelry. And I was fascinated by that at that time. And in fact, my grandma kept me so enclosed, I was even that much more fascinated, because I was like, this is what I'm missing out on.
Really?
Yeah. My grandma was strict, man. Like, I had to be in the house before the lights came on the street. There's no way to live. It worked out. And then I had a group of individuals that were extremely, in society's eyes, dangerous, bad. Like, no jokes, like serious. But I didn't see, that's not the side of them I got to know. You know, we grew up, we talk about from childhood up, and at some point they drifted right and became extremely powerful and then ran an entire city. Like, I wanted to be part of that. That's cool.
And what were they running? Just drug sales?
Everything. Literally. Everything. They were extremely powerful.
How did it make you feel at the time when
They would
your
send me
friend
home?
didn't want you to be part of it?
I didn't understand it then. I understand it now. Well, I understand it way. I mean, I understood it in 2001 once I made it. I understood it when I was going to visit him in prison.
How grateful are you by what he did?
Very. I remember the first time I went to see him, his first words was, "Now you see why?" Just like that. Now you see why I sent your ass home? That was cool. I'm very grateful, because I think about all the examples where people try to do something like I was trying to do, and those group of individuals bring them in instead and allow them to. And so I had an entire area that actually shunned me away, sort of made me an outcast almost, in a sense.
And why you?
Because of the football.
They knew already then.
They could see, yeah. I wasn't all world, but they can see it was something special.
So you're in the conversation about being drafted reasonably high up in the first round. You go to the NFL Combine, which is kind of the biggest event for NFL prospects, and you're running the 40-yard dash and you slip and get a 4.57 in the 40. What's your reaction afterwards?
I was mad. But then, like, that clock, to be able to slip and be able to recover and still run a 4.5, people don't know 4.5 is extreme. That's fast. That's not slow. And to be able to slip with the clock that they use at the Combine is moving. It's moving. So, I mean, I wasn't mad, and I just...
You were devastated afterwards,
I mean, of course, because I wanted to run fast.
Right.
I mean, speed wasn't my specialty. That wasn't my thing. You know, being able to run is great. Being fast and running in a straight line is great, but the game of football is not played in a straight line. I'm not sure why they still focus on the 40 anyway. It's
funny, though, I was reading a story from back then, and you were quoted as, you know, something along the lines of, you know, you'd love, obviously, to play for your hometown Miami Dolphins, but there's no way you're going to be drafted by them because they're picking too late in the first round. They have pick number 26, and then where do you end up getting drafted?
Was it the 6th pick of the second round, if I'm not mistaken? So the 29, yeah, I think something like that. 6 picks of the second or something around that. I was happy though. I was happy. You know the feeling, man, when that name scrolls down to the bottom of that screen, you get that phone call before, and it's Mike Brown. Hey, Dick LeBeau at the time was a head coach. You know, we're taking you for the 6th selection. Dude, I was so turned. And I was in a room all by myself, family, everybody was out front. You know, I was by myself in the room just watching the draft. And that was such a sigh of relief. And when I hung up, I just thought about everything I went through to get to this point. In the time I almost quit, just all the little things, all the little stuff, and that's where those tears came from.
What was it like running through the tunnel at your first game?
It was crazy. It's crazy. I've never seen that many people screaming an individual name at once. And to come out and hear that name was really dope in front of 70,000. That's new. I was at Corvallis, you know, they only sit, maybe 30, 20 at that time. You got to think back then, Research Stadium wasn't that big. And 70, 80,000 screaming Chad, 85 jerseys filling the stadium. You won't be able to match that again.
Explain why you used to tell defenders what you were going to do before you actually did it.
So they understood that I was prepared that week. So actually the people on the outside understood how great I was when I played. You take away the annex, everything I've done over the years is overshadowed because of the annex. But people really don't understand how really great I was at my craft. To be able to go out there with the best of the best. Not only be out there with the best of the best, but tell the elite players, this is what I'm going to do, and then go out there and execute it the exact same way I said I'm going to do it. And it's not on myself, because I'm relying on 10 other people for these plays to actually function like an engine. Like an engine, everything has to be working in order for it to work. You don't just drop back and throw it to Chad. But that's the confidence I had in myself. That's the confidence I had in my teammates to be able to do that for a decade straight.
What would you say to the defenders?
Everything. Sometimes I would tell them my route.
Yeah, and when would you have these conversations? At the line of scrimmage or before
at the line of scrimmage, if it was man-to-man. There's another thing. If you ever watch clips or you ever get a chance to talk to Marvin Lewis, I would come out the huddle and I would look at him and I would look at him and do this. And that would always be, I want you to watch me on this play. I would have conversations through sign language with Marvin Lewis in the middle of plays before the snap would even occur, letting him know, watch what I do to him. I really had such a fun time, and I was so focused and zoned in when I was playing, despite what the media or everyone else might see, because you see the finished product, you see the having the fun part, but you don't see there's a whole nother side that was never shown, probably because of the way I was.
How often would you sleep at the stadium?
Oh, you remember that?
I heard of that.
That was fun. First 2 years. I was a little kid, young. And
First 2 years in the NFL?
Yeah, first 2 years I would stay at the stadium.
Why?
It was home. It was all I knew. It was all I knew at the time was football. My place. It was cool to be home, but then I was so engulfed in the game of football and wanting to just be great at my craft that I felt this was the necessity to be just that.
Where would you sleep?
In the lounge room. We had a lounge room. TV, video game, arcade machine, couches were plush. It was dope.
How true is it that you would sometimes call coaches to talk strategy at 2 a.m.?
2, 3 in the morning, yeah. Because I was one of the few people that didn't club. I didn't go out. I'm in bed by 9:30, and I always called Coach Lewis 4 or 5 in the morning. Hugh Jackson, 4 or 5 in the morning. Bob Rakowski, our offensive coordinator, he got the most. He got it the worst. Because I always had an idea, always had some type of strategy or something that I felt could help us. He would get it 2, 3, 4, it didn't matter what time it was.
And did they welcome the calls, or they like, what the hell are you doing?
They did, they knew what it was for. Okay. Because I did it over an span of 10 years. This wasn't just all right, I'm gonna do this week. No, this was all the time consistently. So I was really part of the family in a sense.
What do you think could have been done differently?
I don't know. It's not my place. It's not my place. I'm not a GM. If I knew, then I'd be in that position to make those calls.
Right.
I never give my input on something I know nothing about. Because if I did, then I'd be in a position and do it.
But I mean, how do you know they weren't doing everything they could?
We would have been winning, I would suppose, huh? That's it. You know, I never talked bad about the organization. I never did.
Yeah.
Never said anything bad. I just said I was tired of losing.
Right.
You know.
Right. Which I guess makes sense. I mean, from the organization standpoint, I'm sure they're like, we're paying you a lot of money, just stay here and play. And from your standpoint, you're thinking you're one of the top players in the league. You're sick of losing. You want to, start contributing on a winning team.
I didn't look at it so much like that. I just wanted to win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did my job. You know, I had fun doing it. I didn't do it the way most felt I should have been doing it. You know, I didn't conform to the ways of the NFL. You know, I had my own way of doing things, the way I was taught the game should be played, and I stuck to that. I stuck to those values. And, you know, some liked it, some didn't, but I was damn good at what I did.
You said, looking back, you should have stayed in Cincinnati. Why?
It would have been great to be around when times were good. Because I never knew what it felt like to win at the place I felt like was home. Being in New England was great. It was great because I got the chance to win. I didn't get the chance to contribute the way I'd like to. It was a great feeling, but I would have loved to be home, what I consider home, and what I know inside and out. But that's the way the game is. You know, you don't stay there long. It happens very, very, very seldom. You know, Larry Fitzgerald has been where he's been for a while. Even Jerry Rice moved twice. It's unfortunate.
You apparently, at least at that time, felt betrayed by the head coach, Marvin Lewis. There were reports that you threatened to sit out a season. Looking back on all that now, how do you
miss football? It's not happening.
Yeah.
It's not happening. And he would laugh at that anyway. So would everyone else, knowing the way I love the game. I'm not sitting out.
How do you view all of that today? The whatever drama went on with Cincinnati back when you were playing?
There was no drama. It wasn't that bad. You think about it. It wasn't a problem child. I grew frustrated at one point from the losing, as anyone would.
And that's really all it was.
Yeah,
just sick and tired of being sick and tired, kind of.
Yes, it happens. It happens. You know, it happens. I didn't cause any problems. I had fun playing the game of football. I made it fun to be a Bengal fan again. I made it okay to wear a Cincinnati jersey outside the state of Cincinnati. It was okay. I made it cool. You know? But, you know, at one point it wore me.
What was the transition like for you from playing in the NFL to no longer playing?
It was easy.
Easy?
Yeah. It was extremely easy. For one, I was on my tail end. So when you say transition, the transition from, okay, I'm not playing football anymore,
right,
to now I'm home just being a dad or just living everyday day-to-day life, I still lived the same way when I was playing that I'm living now. So the transition, the change was no different. There was nothing that I had to adjust to.
But I mean, when you stopped playing in the NFL, you wanted to still, keep playing at least for a little bit longer.
Maybe a year. I went to Canada.
Right.
I went to Canada that year, not to be all world, not to go in there and be Chad Johnson of old. I went to Canada to finish the right way. Because that was, honestly, that Miami year, that year in Miami, once that year was done, that was it.
You end up going to Canada to play football for a little bit. How was that experience for you?
Really good. Extremely surprising. You
In what way?
understand? I didn't understand much about the CFL, the nuances of the game itself, let alone the players. Dude, they were good. It was extremely surprising. I'm thinking it was going to be easy. Me coming from the NFL, playing at a high level for years,
right,
okay, maybe I should be able to go over here and just, and breeze through. Fool me. First day of camp. No, the level of talent might be off just a tad bit. The speed of the game is the same. The speed of the game is the same. It was no different, and it was extremely surprising that week to week I would look, and for the life of me, I couldn't understand why some of these guys weren't down south playing. Why some of you individuals, weren't in the NFL, but it's really not that far off. Not that far off, like you might think. You have the NFL, you have your elite, and then you have your second and third string.
Mm-hmm.
Your second and third string is like you can swap CFL, NFL. There's really no different.
Mm-hmm.
Except your elite players, if that makes sense.
Why not play there for longer?
No, I just needed that 1 year to finish.
Okay.
That's it. Because if I played in Miami that year, I was retiring anyway. My body couldn't take it anymore, honestly.
What would you say is the most satisfying moment from your career?
You know what? I never even got to finish it the right way. So I think that one will always be empty. Yeah, I never got to finish it the right way. I had to go to the CFL to finish, to get that feeling of completion, but I didn't get to finish my career in the NFL the right way. Maybe if they retire 85, maybe when I come back and do my retirement speech in Cincinnati, maybe that will be the finishing touch or answer to that question. But right now, it's just void, it's empty.
Isn't that, though, kind of being unfair to yourself? I mean, because you played so well for so long, achieved so much, and while you might not have won the Super Bowl in Cincinnati, or you might not have finished how you wanted to finish, I mean, it's a career that about everybody entering the NFL would have died to have had.
That's great. But so basically what you just said is you just wrote a great sentence and forgot to put the period at the end. There's no period to everything you just said. Yes, the sentence is great, but it's not complete until that period is there. There's no period.
When you were playing, I think you said you regretted not being able to be as present a father as you could be.
Yeah.
How about now?
I didn't like that. But I like it now, though. But now I have a small issue. Because now that my kids are older, they don't want to hang with me because now they have friends. There's always a damn birthday party. There's always something going on. It's like every weekend, like it's Friday right now, right? I'm supposed to have a house full of kids right now. I guarantee you when I call, when we're together, there's a party going on, or they have something to do, or they can't go, it's a dance recital, it's a concert, it's always something. So I have my baby, my daughter, my 6-month-old baby Kennedy. Now she can hang with me because she had no choice. But every time I take her somewhere, she's sleeping. So it's like I'm losing across the board.
I think you have 5 kids. 6 kids.
I need one more.
And a few different moms.
Yeah, the traditional way sucks.
I was going to say, I mean, looking back, would you do any of that different?
Definitely not.
Really?
Definitely not. Why? That's selfish.
I mean, but does it allow you to be as present a father as you would like to be?
Yeah. Extremely easy. Extremely. I have my kids every weekend. Pick them up from school during the week sometimes. Extremely easy. You don't have to do it the traditional way that they say, it should be done. It didn't work out for me. I tried that one time. Didn't work. It's kind of boring, actually.
What's boring about it?
Just the traditional way of doing things. The way they say it should be done isn't for everybody.
So your daughter killed it at the Junior Olympics.
She's pretty fast. She's fast, like extremely fast to be that young.
What's that like for you as a dad?
Being able to see it is awesome. Training with her is awesome because I train with her and I actually run and go through everything with her as well.
So what will you guys do together?
Well, she has her own coach.
Okay.
I'm not coach because I know nothing about track. I can just run. So whatever she has for that day, I go through most of the circuit with her, and it's fun. So I'm seeing the product being made right here firsthand, which is really dope. I didn't have that. I became great on my own, being able to find the motivation within myself to want to be good at my craft. Not the game of football. I just want to be good at my craft, and me being able to be there with my daughter and help her understand what it takes to get there and the drive that you need is pretty dope. And the funny thing I like about it with her is I'm not pushing. I'm not forcing you to run. Like, she actually enjoys it. And that's one of the hard things about having kids or having parents that want their kids to be great at something is the parents that might not have reached that full potential try to do it and live through their kids by pushing them and forcing them. And like, I am at ease because I don't have to do anything. Like, she already has that drive and that want to in her. And that's like a plus, because that's hard to come by.
How great does it feel to be in a position where you can support her in that way?
I like it. I think maybe if I was still playing right now, man, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to pick up and drop off from school. I wouldn't be able to say, hey, I'm coming to get you guys this weekend, we're going somewhere. I wouldn't be able to go to parent-teacher conference. Like, that stuff is fun. Like, being a dad is really dope, and I missed it. As much as I missed the game, even though I can't take the hits anymore.
What do you most like about being a dad?
Them trying to pull the same tricks that I pulled 20 years ago, and them thinking it's gonna work. That's fun. You know how dope it is seeing a bunch of you, like a group of you, walking through the mall 6 deep with a baby strapped to my chest going shopping, going to the movies, going to the grocery store, and then piling the cart up with just a bunch of snacks. That's me. Going to McDonald's and nobody complaining about what to order. Like, it's like little stuff like that is like really dope to me.
How much were you fined over the course of your career?
That's a good question. And people ask me that all the time, and I have no clue. I have no clue on a set amount on how much it's been over time.
If you had to guess.
I don't even know. Even if I had to guess, I couldn't even tell you.
I mean, in the hundreds of thousands?
I mean, easily. Because they would get me for simple stuff. Color of my shoes, my socks, my chin strap, the tape on my wrist, wrong gloves.
And you almost embraced it though at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost.
Yeah, I didn't pay it any mind. And the whole point. This is a funny thing about the NFL. They go after what they think you value most. NFL thinks that most of us made it to that point, and we value money the most. But unfortunately, that was not one of the most important values to me, which is why I continue to do the same thing over and over. This is an entertainment. This game is for entertainment. People pay $75 a ticket, and they're going to get their money's worth every week. I'm not here for your money. It's great that I made it to a point where I'm able to make millions doing something that I love, but that's not the sole reason why I'm here.
You at all regret blowing the money on fines?
No, for what?
Okay.
I made it up in the off season anyway.
Yeah. And I guess in reality it was some of the antics that got the big endorsement deals because people were entertained by
so whatever they took, I made up. Exactly.
Your favorite touchdown celebration?
I never got the opportunity to do it.
What was it?
We were playing the Kansas City Chiefs. We were playing the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. We were already, I think it might have been the 2005 year, if I'm not mistaken. And the easy button from the Stable commercial had just came out.
Okay.
And I put 2 easy buttons on the north and south end zone. And I was going to score and grab the easy button from under there and, take it over to Carson and have him hit it. And I think that would have been one of my favorites, but I didn't score that game, unfortunately.
And you didn't have a Staples endorsement deal?
I would have had one after that.
You would have had one after that, right?
Yeah.
What about the ones you were able to do?
Probably the one I like the most is probably the marriage proposal.
Okay.
The marriage proposal was pretty, I remember telling the cheerleaders before the game, I'm not sure what end zone would happen, but just pay attention and just go along. I didn't even tell them what I was going to do. I said, just pay attention. So whoever I got to first, she already knew what was happening.
Yeah.
Even though we were mocking the proposal. Christmas time, we played Buffalo. Scoring and giving out, throwing the presents in the stands out of the Santa bag was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was neat.
I kind of like the Hall of Fame induction thing.
I liked the Hall of Fame jacket. I also liked when Carson
ripped the
pulled
Ochocinco thing off, yeah.
Name off the back.
I like the Hall of Fame thing because I felt I had gotten to a point where I think I'm a Hall of Fame player. And I'd rather not deal with the politics and wait for the real thing to happen. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm already inducted. My numbers say they are good enough to be there. I didn't win a championship. I didn't get any rings. Unfortunately, it happens.
How are you doing financially?
I've been broke. I've been broke since '78.
No.
What do you mean, no?
What do you mean you've been broke since '78?
We don't have money. You think athletes have money?
You made a fortune during your football career.
No, dude. The people signing the check have a fortune.
Well, okay, it's all relative, but to 99.9% of the population, you were making a
Okay.
fortune. Maybe not compared to the billionaire
Okay.
NFL owners, but 99% of the population.
Where
were
I'm
making
from?
right.
I'm not rich, or I'm not well. I'm well off. If that's what you say it. I'm well off.
And you're still well off today.
Yeah, I'm cheap. You haven't followed me over the years?
Hey, your friend Trent, who I was talking to, said, when you guys will go out to lunch, he will force you to let him pay
Pay, yeah.
sometimes, but everybody else you pay for, so you can't be
Yeah,
that
it
cheap.
was weird. It was weird, but I am cheap. The way I move, the way I live, the lifestyle I've lived over the years. If you followed me, even if you're a fan, you know. Like, I've always shown small instances, like, for instance, on Hard Knocks, shopping at Claire's. My jewelry has always been fake. Rolexes, diamonds, everything is cubic zirconia because it all shines the same when the light hits it. If you already have money, there's no reason to buy anything real, which I've tried to explain
But you had like
numerous
a
times.
dozen exotic cars, didn't you? Or, a dozen cars, some of which were exotic.
Me?
Yeah.
I had a Ferrari, I had a Lamborghini and a Phantom, all which were bought with TV money.
Okay. What is it like, though, when, the football checks obviously stop coming because you're no longer playing, but the kind of day-to-day living expenses remain the same? That
My living expenses, my only overhead was child support, which is structurally done between myself and the mothers.
Okay.
That's my living expense. That was always, that's all I have. I didn't have a house here, I didn't have a house there. Like, you don't understand how simple I really live. There's a perception and then there's reality.
So it was important to you to make smart financial decisions over the course of your.
I did early. I didn't make any extremely bad ones because I didn't do any of those ridiculous investments.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put money, like I was extremely safe in a sense and didn't do anything crazy.
What made you realize you needed to make those smart decisions?
I don't know. I went through a phase. That phase of mine was only 2 years. It got boring because the things that people like to do, I'm not even into it. I don't drink alcohol, so I'm not in the club popping bottles and spending $50K for a group of people. I didn't have an entourage. The entourage that I had didn't even want to deal with me growing up as a kid, and definitely didn't want to surround themselves around me once I made it because of the attention that they brought. So I didn't have to spend on them. So where's my money going? It's really nowhere for it to go. I'm not trying to live up to society standards. I was an oddball when I was playing. I didn't want to fit in with anyone else. Everything I did, I wanted to be over here on my own. I was completely different. And so, which is why I keep trying to explain how my transition really wasn't that difficult, because I wasn't living crazy when I was making it.
Why do you think the perception out there was different?
Because I made it that way, the way I played. The interviews, the celebrations, the mainstream media was able to, sort of build up this perception to the masses on this is the way I was, when, behind closed doors, I'm nothing like that. Which is why I would love when Twitter came along, because it sort of knocked the middleman out the way.
Best lesson you've learned over the years about money and finance would be what?
Money and finance, the best lesson. Just save it. Period. It looks better coming in than going out. That's always been my thing. Always.
Did you ever get a concussion and play in that same game? I mean, and still go on to play in the game?
Yeah, of course. Of course, you don't tell. They don't tell. If you feel you're able to go, you're gonna go. The concussion protocol is completely different now, so. But yeah, players do it all the time. The NFL covering their ass. Smart.
Knowing what you know now about the long-term side effects playing could have, are there any situations back when you were playing that you would have done differently?
Dodge Ray a couple more times.
Ray Lewis.
Yeah. Because I purposely, there are times where.
It's the hardest hit you've ever taken, right?
Probably Ray, and Brian Russell gave me a concussion bad and knocked me out. We were playing Cleveland. It was like garbage time, and Carson threw me a slant, and I tried to go get it. He went right up under my chin. This was before the rules. It's before the rules, too. Yeah, that was bad. Like, I was asleep on the field.
What do you remember from that instance?
It hurt. I remember I needed stitches underneath. The interview that's on YouTube of me.
Where you're all fuzzy in the locker room.
Yeah, that was the hit. And I was like,
Right.
Yeah, I was gone. I was messed up. I had no clue where I was.
PR guy stepped in pretty quickly.
Yeah, he did quick. And I remember on the interview with me asking, how did I do? All I wanted to know is how did I do against Baden? I was like, I have a concussion. I'm worried about did I do well against DB.
I know you've said before, you and NFL Commissioner Rodger Goodell had a relationship.
Yes, we mean, dude, look at this.
Okay.
Like, I'm the only one. I have to be the only player who has.
And you call him Dad.
You see his name is there twice, right?
Yeah.
Office and home. Office, home.
I mean, you could have made up numbers and just stuck them in.
Right. No. Like, I'm the only player still. I think I'm the only one that loves him.
How did that relationship start?
When he took over after Tagliabue, I was sure to be one of the first ones to get in contact with him.
And
It was important that he understood that as of now, we would have a good relationship because he was going to have to deal with me a lot, which is the case over the years.
And what are some of the situations since then that people would be surprised to know that you guys have, had personal interaction about?
All fines. Those are personal interactions. Because any time that we interact, it's because I've done something wrong in the end zone. Nothing more, nothing less, because I never got in trouble.
What do you think of him?
I like him. He was put in a tough position, though. Because when he came in and everyone kept getting in trouble, and he had to sort of come down with the hammer right away and, I don't want to say be macho, but like be stern. He had to. We left him no choice as players because everyone kept getting in trouble. There was a time, you remember when he first came in? Like, everybody kept getting arrested.
Well,
like, it was crazy.
He's definitely done a better job policing the league than Commissioner Tagliabue.
You have to understand, people were getting in trouble in positions that he had no control over, or coaches. You get in trouble in the street or at home or late at night, you're in the club. I mean, you represent that organization, but I mean, he can't control that. He can't control it.
You guys still keep in touch?
I bother him every blue moon.
Okay.
I bother him every blue moon.
What do you think of the NFL's handling of domestic violence cases?
Are they doing enough, you think? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I would, even myself in the position that I'm in, I would love to be one who would be an advocate for it, especially after messing up. But I don't think someone like I don't even think they would allow me to do so. So I've never even tried. I've never even tried to be a voice for it because I just think, like, I messed up so bad that it's not even worth a shot.
Well, but, I mean, firsthand experiences with that and being able to talk about that are sometimes the most effective teaching tools.
Yeah, but sometimes, I don't know, that's a very touchy subject. It's a very iffy subject, And I kind of just, I mean, it's been years, and I kind of sort of let the situation, it's never going to go away, but I just tend not to bring it up, tend not to say anything about it. And, at times like now, I always apologize to those that I've hurt, and those that still haven't forgiven me, so.
How tough was that period for you to go through?
Very. Extremely tough. For one, I messed up. Big time. Big time. And when everything happened, I came out right away and took full responsibility. Regardless of what you said, regardless of what anyone else said, I messed up. Regardless to how anybody tried to finagle the situation or say this is why it happened or I shouldn't have done this, Chad messed up. That's it. There's nothing I can do. I apologize to my family, my friends. I apologize to her 1,000,000 times. I apologize to everyone that would accept my apology. And I understood what was to come or what was going to come after the fact. So all I could do was do that, I took a few classes, a few anger management classes, counseling after that, being able to learn how to channel my anger the right way. There are not very few, I'm angry very, 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 very few times. Because if you know me personally, I am always an outgoing, loving person, just having fun. And the few times that I do get mad, I've learned how to channel that anger the right way, which is something that I never was able to do before.
What do you remember from being in jail?
It was cold as shit. You think about your mistake, you know, when you're in like that. And the short time that I did spend in there, I knew I wouldn't play again.
You didn't think you'd play again?
No, of course not. I was on the back end of my career. And then the magnitude of the mistake that I made, no team was going to deal with the backlash from that, especially with a high-profile player coming back. It wasn't happening.
Your friend was telling me as this was all going on, you actually one night are sitting on your grandma's porch, I think with him, just getting emotional about the fact that, your now ex-wife wasn't returning your calls. What's that like for you to go through at the time?
It hurt. It was karma.
Karma?
That was my karma.
Why?
It just was. For all the people I've ever done wrong, for all the women I've probably ever done wrong. That's how I thought about it, Not the incident itself. Not the incident itself of me messing up. I mean, just in all. It was a way of God saying, you need to slow down. You need to slow down. And it happened. I don't want to say it happened for a reason, but I mean just on my end, my part, in the way I was moving in general.
But as a result of what happened, you were able to take your life in an even more positive direction.
Bingo. There you go. Everything was slowed down because I was moving. Like I was moving.
And what do you mean?
It's a figure of speech. There's no way to explain it. You would have to understand. You would have to understand I was moving in a way I shouldn't have been moving, if that makes sense. Not doing anything wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm over here to the left. Remember,
but
I'm
you
over
could,
to that, but
looking
I'm
back, you probably could have been making
Exactly.
better decisions with stuff.
Bingo.
Okay.
I wasn't moving the way I should have been moving.
I want to run through a handful of moments and get you to recall your best memory from each experience. The first one being Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, that was so humbling.
So humbling.
Yes, man. That was so humbling. I had rhythm. I could already dance. But once you add music, steps, and a partner, and counts, and being able to be in unison as one, and then you taking a professional dancer that's been doing it all her life, and then you take an athlete, and you put him in a situation that was uncomfortable, but I was able to adapt. It was extremely, extremely humbling, because one mistake in her craft, which she has perfected, I throw everything off. And it was an extremely humbling experience, a great experience, but very humbling.
Major League Soccer.
Oh man, I was horrible. I was horrible, but that's my first love. That's my first love. I can go play right now though.
You'd be better now?
Yeah, way better. I'd make the team right now, easily.
You'd make an MLS team right now?
Easily.
Come on.
I swear to God.
You want to do that?
I don't think I can. I'm too old. But I could.
Well, I mean, if you're good enough, they aren't going to say no to somebody.
If any, I could probably go back to
whose
Sporting KC. I'm always welcome there. But yeah, right now, I've gotten my game back to a level it was before I started playing football. My touch, being able to understand the game.
Okay, well, so there's the career question then. Could you ever see short term doing that?
Maybe that would be a dream I could live out, maybe for a season. That would be nice. Coming off the bench.
Professional bull riding.
Oh man, that was scary. That was scary. That was scary. There's one that was one for the bucket list.
Okay, so take me through the experience.
Experience was, I thought I was going to do extremely well, because
Riding a bull.
yeah,
Well,
I never
what
saw
made
it. Wait a
you
minute,
think you were
I'm
gonna
going to
do
tell you
really
why.
well?
The mechanical bull, extremely easy. I'm able to sit up. I'm able to mount. I'm able to, you know, I have my leg closed. My pants weren't this tight though. My legs were able to close, and I was in a position where I felt I could dominate this individual. I felt good. I did the whole mechanical bull thing as training. Of course, you can't get on the real bull in practice. I'd never seen a bull in person until this day. So I get in, come in to shoot. The bull is huge.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of a difference from a mechanical bull versus a live animal.
So I'm thinking, based on what I've seen on TV very few times, because I knew nothing about bull riding. So I thought, I'm not tripping. I'm trying to keep my face calm. Like, I got this. And I get on the bull, and my legs are all the way out here. And that's where the problem came in at, where I was getting ready to, this is one of the times I was getting ready to quit. I was getting ready to quit because I'm trying to understand, he's a ball of muscle. It's like a big ball of muscle. And my legs are spread out. And so I'm thinking to myself, how am I supposed to grip or be able to squeeze if my legs are so far spread apart? And he said you'd have to use the spurs and kick. So there's a whole technique that goes into it, which I didn't have time to learn because they've been doing this all their life. And I just held on for dear life. And that once I gave him the okay to open the gate, it's like a ball of power just shot out. It doesn't even look fast, but you have to be on it to understand. Like that, it was really scary.
The foot race against a thoroughbred horse.
That was fun. That was cool. I was handicapped. I had a 50-yard head start. It doesn't count. No, it doesn't count.
Posing naked for PETA.
That was fun. That was fun. I wish I could have dropped the ball, but it was cool.
That's what Playgirl's for.
That works. You're supposed to play girl.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Too old.
What's something most people that don't follow you would be surprised to know you talk about?
Probably my musical taste. My musical taste.
You have wide-ranging musical
John,
taste.
I listen to everything. Matter of fact, I'm going to see Andrea Bocelli again come February, which I'm really excited about. I haven't missed him in like maybe 3 or 4 years. He's been coming to Miami. I love the arts. Alvin Ailey, I've been seeing Alvin Ailey Dance Theater. You know who Alvin Ailey is? No?
I know nothing about the
I haven't
art,
missed him since 1989. I've seen every Broadway musical there is, every show. That'd probably be the one weird thing that people don't know.
Most fun you've ever had on Twitter?
Most fun? I think maybe 2009. That's when Twitter was fun. When I didn't have that many followers and I can tweet the way I wanted it to.
And what's the difference then versus now?
Now I have so many followers, so I'm somewhat careful in what I say and how I say it and the words that I use.
Because not only that, the media
I don't care about
will
that.
run with something.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You know.
So
Since
then
when have I ever
careful?
cared about? I don't know. Kids are older now. You know.
Oh, your kids are older now? Okay.
Yeah.
So you censor yourself for that
A
reason?
little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
All right, so you found somebody that we're gonna play on Twitter, right?
I have a young fella, and he had the nerve to talk trash. Come over, I'm in Davie, and he has a picture of his TV set up with the game already ready.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, I hate to beat him on a Friday, but
We're coming for him.
yeah, we're coming.
Yo.
What up, Chad?
What's up? You
You
good?
trying to play?
Yeah. Oh, there's more people. That's good. Good. Nice to meet you. Pleasure.
What's up? I'm Graham.
Awesome, nice to meet you.
So Chad is 30-3.
30.
That's what he says his record is. You guys got a prediction?
He's been so I got Chad, man. I ain't gonna lie.
So did you think he was gonna show up?
I didn't know, honestly.
And then you got the phone call
Yeah, I
from
got the phone call. I was like, it's serious.
Get out of here! That's bull! Don't do that. Don't do me like that. What's up, baby? Nah, go. You good? Hello? I'm still out here in Davie right now. I'll be out that way later on.
Don't do it to me,
Oh.
Chad. Don't do it to me.
He did it on the phone too.
I'm in! I was on the phone. I'm sorry, my bad.
8 minutes left.
Golazo! Let's go. Good game.
So you're now 31-3? Here, let me take one like this. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, thank you for letting me in your house, man. Seriously, seriously, I appreciate it, man. It's a pleasure, okay? All right, I got you. Hey, I'm around the corner. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Right.
Take care, brother.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you, guys.
How often do you play?
Every day. Every day for the past, really what, I've been out 4 years? Every
Okay.
day, yeah.
So Mikey owns the place, right?
Yeah.
So how did Chad start playing here?
Yeah, like about 3 or 4 years ago.
And I came with the wrong shoes.
Exactly.
Remember?
He came with the cleats.
I remember I
First
came
time
with
he came with the
cleats.
cleats, so he put them on the side. And then I think a year after, I decided to tweet. And I tweeted him, I said, hey Chad, you forgot your cleat. We kept them on the side. And then he came, and since then he's here every day.
Yeah.
That's his house.
I can shoot really well.
Can you shoot?
Yeah.
Here.
You have to catch it during the game. Right now?
Don't hurt me. That's really close. I'm gonna get hurt. All right, wait, do one more. Do one more. Now I know how hard you're hitting.
You got it.
Best 2 out of 3? I blocked that one. Tell me about this place.
This is home. This is where I grew up. This is where I was raised. This is my grandmother's place. This is her mom's place, and so on and so forth.
So what do you most remember about this place?
All the ass whoopings.
All the ass whoopings?
Yeah, all the beatings.
Did you have a lot?
Yeah, a lot. Get
As
trouble.
in that shaped you into the man you are, or that was over the
Shaped
top?
me into the man I am in a sense, because I hadn't learned my lesson until it was too late for me almost. Being a la Santa Monica, But other than that, man, it's fun. The memories are still here because she's still here, so it's cool. Like, you see how quiet it is right now?
Mm-hmm.
And when dark falls, it's a different ball game.
What's it like when dark falls?
I don't know, because I won't be here.
I mean, what is it usually like
You
when it's...
just never know. You never know.